Good afternoon and welcome to the Kerry Garden Show. Alan Finn back with you here again at beautiful Boyles of Killorglin on a sunny day. Now, this may not be going out on a sunny day because such has been the craziness of this summer. Isn't it, Miguel?
Amazing.
It has been one day beautiful, the next day like winter.
Yeah, we'll still have the hope for Indian summer.
Indian summer. I heard the farmers are preparing for a long winter. Anyway, Miguel, how are you? Welcome to the show. How are you keeping?
I'm okay.
Waiting
for the sunshine.
Waiting for the sunshine. Well, we have it today, thankfully, when we're recording this show. So we have a very good connection with sunshine because I guess the seaside would be the topic of conversation for today. I had a family gathering there just at the weekend gone, and two of my wife's cousins from Cork, Eunice and Cleona, were both big gardening fans, and they were asking me questions about Seaside. But we've had a lot of people asking about Seaside, so let's give them what they're looking for. So, growing by the seaside, Miguel, what are the main things that that affect, your choices in regards to what you want to put in your garden?
So basically, what it affects is the orientation, the exposure to the wind, and no, it's not any type of wind. It's a salty wind, so it comes with the sea drops and sea breeze,
water,
and it's tricky to find the right plants for being very exposed. Okay?
So that salt is what then gets onto the leaves, gets into the plants,
and get that layer,
starts to kind of
white layer. And
does that prevent the plant then from being able to photosynthesize, or is it just a case of
it burns the leaves in tender leaf plants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So normally the very exposed plants have more coriaceous, more sturdy, hardy, or strong leaves, whatever you want to name it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's two different things. It's very exposed. So if you have a house in front of the sea, you have two choices: or enjoying the views, with the wind, or creating a barrier.
Right.
When you create a barrier, tree barrier or hedging barrier, that allows you to grow many more things than if you're fully exposed. But if you want to be fully exposed because you have a wonderful views to the sea, and you don't want to get that landscape broken by trees, you still have different plants that you can use. Another thing is the orientation is not the same being next to the sea in a very sheltered area like Kells Bay, for example. They have a microclimate there, so they can grow things that they could be normally not be grown in that type of places. So it all depends on your orientation. If you're facing east, facing west, you're probably gonna get loads of wind. If you're facing west, you might be sheltered by a rock or mountain or a slope or something like that. That will be giving you more options. So, for the first line of defense, for the first tree defense, if you want to create a tree barrier, what can you use? You can use alder, Alnus glutinosa. Not a very eye-catching tree, but very effective in terms of tolerance to the sea winds and creating a wind barrier, not only a wind barrier, but a sound barrier for these strong winds that blow in the middle of the winter, or even the waves when they are breaking next to your house, that can be sometimes very strong. So you have that, but you not only have those fellas, you can go to mountain ash or common ash. You can go to Polish scarlets as well.
What are they?
They call Polish scarlet the hawthorn.
Hawthorn. Oh yes, of course.
And the sycamores. You can use sycamores. Certain types
trees
of sycamore trees are good.
Certain types.
Some of them the Acer pseudoplatanus are more suitable than others, but normally all of them they should be all right. They not only will be creating a wind barrier, but a sound barrier. If you don't want a big tree blocking your view, you can do hedging as well.
I would imagine as well too, the trees would take a long time to get to that thing.
Grow.
So if you're looking for
they grow quickly enough.
They can.
Those trees are not they are not perennials in terms of explosive growth, but they grow
pretty good.
But
if someone was looking for a more immediate thing, hedging would be
will give you, what it will give you is the possibility of keeping a certain height to still have some
The views.
sea views.
Yeah, the views will
but
still be there.
have some especially wind barrier.
Yeah.
So what kind of hedging can we use in the seaside? We can use obviously the Grisilinea littoralis. Littoralis will be meaning literal.
Yeah,
So
yeah, the
that's a
Grisilinea, everyone's very well
good.
familiar with those.
Another one that is probably even better will be the Olearia.
Okay.
Olearia.
Now that does
Those
seem to
can
have an
be
extra
used as a shrub.
toughness in the
The
leaves
local
there, is it?
Olearia will be looking like the olive trees we have behind. The leaves are quite similar.
Okay.
That's why it's called Olearia.
Ah, very good.
So very similar to olive trees, very wind tolerant, very salty wind tolerant plant. And you can have also the Elaeagnus. Elaeagnus is another plant that will be very good in those seasides that will be creating a barrier. Grisilinea will be the quickest grower.
Yep.
The other ones are slower, but they are very nice. The Elaeagnus have berries, are edible berries. I love them.
Oh,
They are sweet
you would eat
and
them.
sour,
It's not even something that the birds would eat. It's something that
sweet
we
and
can
sour. Some people won't like them because they're sour.
Okay.
But I like that sweet and sour flavor.
Because you're sour.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite. I'm a bitter man.
I'm bitter man, yeah.
Call
Well,
me
that's actually
bitter man.
interesting. I didn't know the Elaeagnus produced
Elaeagnus
a
has
fruit that
berries.
you could eat.
When they are fully red, they are, in my opinion, delicious.
Okay.
In my sister's opinion, delicious. Some people find them very acidic.
Okay,
I
right.
like them a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a bonus if you have Elaeagnus in your hedging. So that will create, when you create a barrier, you have in mind that you can leave Grisilinea or Elaeagnus grow as tall as you want. But you can also bring it down as much as you want. You can use
Depending on
hollies as well. Before I
Hollies,
forget,
yeah.
hollies will be all right as well.
Yeah, and it's depending on your views, as you were saying, you know, and how much you want. Do you want the thing? So if you're talking about a good 5-foot hedge, 6-foot hedge,
It depends.
you know,
on your
if you've got a
needs, you know.
slope and you're able to see over that. But what that allows then is that protects up to 6 foot or 7 or
Exactly,
8
of the
foot,
strong
like
winds.
underneath of the strong winds
So let's say you have an fully open
exposure. Yeah.
And what can you do there? What can you use? So it's not many plants that you can use, but still in terms of super cool flowering, all right? In terms of shrubs that are super cool. But you can have Euonymus, you can have Ceanothus. Ceanothus, we have talked about this plant before.
Okay.
In the acidic plant program.
Yeah.
That's called Californian
Lilac. That's one
and
that
it has
looks
a very,
beautiful,
very
purple.
scented flowers.
Yeah.
And it's very, you see that the leaves are very tough. you know.
Tough, yeah. Lovely
So,
bright dark green. as well.
Erigeron, Mexican fleabane, and all types of Erigeron that can be used as a first line without any problem.
Yeah.
Okay?
Erigon. Okay, this kind of little
That
profusion
you
is
can
called, yeah.
see these fellas growing literally in the docks, in the piers, by the sea, in the
small little rock holes.
rock
Yeah.
holes, all right?
Okay, in the holes in the wall.
You can see them next by the rivers, next by the River Lee in Cork, growing facing the. They're
Facing
there.
that. Yeah.
They grow anywhere.
Wow.
So you
And
can
a lovely little daisy-like
you can
flower.
go and steal a few from the rockeries next year instead of coming
I
here
don't know
and
what
spending
we
money.
do not recommend that at all.
That is the same family,
Same family. Wow, and this is a
different
much
plant,
bigger
much-
and beautiful
much-
flower.
Exactly.
But
you
this is called sea breeze or a
Yeah.
seaside daisy, and this has
Seaside
got
daisy.
a beautiful light purple, very dainty, kind of finger-like petals, and then a lovely yellow in the middle.
This is constant flowering
Beautiful.
all spring, all summer long.
Yeah.
Very, very long-lasting flowering plant. Very tolerant for winds and bad weather. You know.
Okay.
First seaside, Armeria. This is out of flower. Armeria maritima as well. Maritima will be sea plant.
Maritima, yeah.
Maritima, sea plant, or Crambe maritima. That's another excellent plant for very exposed areas.
Okay.
That has a wild flower
looks
style,
like
like
it looks-
Isophila style
Yeah.
flower.
And it even looks like the leaves of like a cabbage plant or something.
Looks
with
like something like that, yeah.
but it's got a lovely white dainty flower that comes with it as well.
Very
purple.
tolerant, very, very good plant for the seaside. You can use grasses as well.
Yeah.
Grasses are a very good option. They give you as well that
seaside, once it
movement,
goes in the
seaside
breeze,
movement with
yeah.
the breeze.
And even if you kind of go out and watch them, it's like nearly hypnotic.
It's hypnotic.
Yeah,
it is.
no, it's
it
very
is. And then
relaxing.
they had to rescue from there when the tide comes up. Then we have bearberries as a first line, okay?
Oh, that's another hedging plant,
Bearberries
isn't it?
in species, in different varieties.
Yeah.
You can use them, very thorny plant, very tough plant for the sea.
Yeah.
That can be in a wide open as Euonymus. We have a Lonicera here as well,
Okay.
Lonicera nitida. That's a rambling plant, could be used against a wall.
Okay,
and
yeah.
will be going up, will be creating a large bush eventually.
Oh, lovely, yeah, yeah.
It's a very nice plant, very nice, very tolerant. And now, what we have, we've talked about hedging, we've talked about shrubs. Now we can talk about the second line after the hedging. Okay? Well, mostly all perennials should do more or less all right, depending on the height.
Okay.
So gladiolus, very tall, or
They'll probably get
Verbena
exposed.
bonaerensis, very tall.
Yeah.
It will be
Blown
will be
over.
knocked down
Yeah.
by the wind. But plenty of perennials could be used in first line, you know. But
Once you have that barrier, it does.
once
it
you have
opens
that
up.
barrier, is plants that thrive wonderfully behind that barrier. So we have a plant that we sell a lot here in Boyles, Hebes in varieties.
Oh, the Hebes, yeah. that's a
Hebes are good
Veronica.
for everything. And they have actually a wonderful flowering. Wonderful flowering, no need to look after,
The
no need
leaves.
to prune.
The leaves change
Evergreen,
colour. Yeah.
very nice self-shaping shrub with very nice flowers, very, very wind tolerant, very recommended, very, very recommended for coastal areas. Bumblebees, leaves, bees, butterflies,
They all
love it.
love it.
You have Buddleias here, I'm smelling it.
You're got the smell
Butterfly
of it.
bush. Butterfly bush.
Oh, the butterfly bush, yeah.
That's very good as well for the second line. Oh, I cannot help. Very good for the second line. It will be giving you loads of color. Butterflies, as the name says,
It will attract the
love them.
butterflies,
It
yeah,
attracts
absolutely.
the butterfly. It
yeah,
will
the
be
Buddleia is a beautiful, popular plant.
beautiful, very nice option for the second line. You can have phormiums, asters.
Yeah, this is again the asters, which are just as we mentioned there the other week about they're
About
literally just
autumn.
coming in at the moment. The autumn
So
colouring.
asters are very good for seaside as well. Very, very easy to.
We kind of might have
Fuchsias.
forgotten about the fuchsias as well, but like these can
There's
kind
a
of these
hedging
are
fuchsia.
different types. They can grow quite large,
They can grow,
and they
yeah.
can also be small as well, can't they?
Yeah, we have small bushes that are good for second line. I think that probably most of the people has at least a small wall
Yeah.
or a small hedging, so they are not fully exposed. Because the winds here are crazy, they can drive you
They can,
crazy
yeah.
in the winter. So I guess most of the people have something to break the wind.
Yeah.
And that gives them, see, geranium rosan, or any type of hardy geranium, they will do very good there as well. So we have a very wide choice, believe it or not. That's a small selection of
Yeah.
what we can use in coastal areas. We can use my beloved
I know. Your
hydrangeas.
children. One of your children is here.
second
The
line.
hydrangeas.
Yes.
We got a beautiful variety here as well
Beautiful
too.
red.
So
Those are good for second lines.
yeah,
The Hebes, all grasses. Don't forget about grasses. Then
Yeah.
you can do in the second line is plenty of different trees and more shrubs that you can use. And it's a very long list.
Yeah.
You can use from Cape daisies, lithodoras. Lithodora is a rockery plant that do very well in those areas.
yeah,
The most important thing is finding the right plant, as you know, for the right place. And if you want to have a very beautiful garden next by the sea, you have to plan
Yes.
the windbreaker. If you want to have a beautiful garden here in Ireland, you need to break the wind.
Yeah.
And for that, you're going to need or trees or hedging or whatever you want, but unless you want to be very exposed.
Yeah.
And it's plenty of them that behave
'cause
very
obviously,
well.
like what-
Citisus is the Senecio Grey. Senecio Grey has a very nice flowers in yellow flowers.
Oh, it flowers
Yellow
as well.
flowers.
Oh wow.
It doesn't look very good, this actually, but has a very beautiful yellow flowers, clusters of small daisy-like flowers.
Oh wow, okay.
And they are very, very tolerant. Phormiums, cordylines,
Yeah.
plenty.
Okay. So what I guess just to finish up, Miguel, some people might just come in and think that, you know, oh, that'd look lovely, that'd look lovely. But again, as you said, we keep coming back to planning, and some people may have bought something, got disappointed because the leaves burned. Just
That's normal.
It's
you
normal.
have in mind that it's not such a thing as a perfect plant in nature. They all have brown leaves, they all have insect bites, they all have something.
Yeah.
So you cannot expect the perfect plant.
Yeah.
You can, what you want is something that goes, that works. So if you buy an olive tree like the ones we have behind with the salty winds, they will be ruined in a second. Not in a second, but in a few months.
Okay.
They will be destroyed by the wind. They don't like that salty wind.
Ah, right.
They can take many different conditions, but the salty
not
wind
salty
will keep.
winds.
So do a little bit of research. Don't get blinded by the plant that you want because I want this plant.
Yeah.
Just go do some research. Maybe you can find a place in your garden in the backside or in the
that might be a little less
somewhere.
exposed that could
Exactly.
find that spot. Yeah.
And
Okay.
you can do that. You can put that plant that you love somewhere.
Yeah.
But in the most exposed areas, specifically, you need to be
You have to block
smart
that wind. Block that
to
wind.
block the
start.
wind, or get plants that go well with the wind.
with
You
it,
can do a grass garden in front, small, medium,
Rockeries
large,
and all that stuff. Yeah.
to
look
create
lovely.
that flow and that beauty,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
still have the views.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's brilliant. So hopefully that has given a lot of thought for some of those of us who are those who have. I'm not. Luckily, I don't have a sea view. I would love one, but the problems and issues that come with it. You know, we've given lots of information, and the fact that there are loads of options is bound to be good news for any one of our seaside faring visitors, our watchers and viewers. Listen folks, that's it for this week. Thanks again to Miguel for all his fantastic advice. We will be back next week. Hopefully the sun might be shining again, and hopefully it's shining on your garden. Until next time, happy gardening.